Dear participants, we will begin with our session within 2 minutes. We are waiting for our other participants to join the session. A warm afternoon to everyone gathered. I take immense joy in welcoming you all back for the second technical session of the day of NAAC sponsored National Virtual Seminar on Transforming Quality of Teaching by Adopting and Innovating ICT Tools and Techniques, a key focus area of NEP 2020. Our second session focuses on pros and cons of the implementation of NEP in higher education institutions. The National Education Policy 2020 was formulated to promote the quality education in the educational institutions. Although it has explications for innovative and skillful activities, it also has certain limitations and challenges to be faced. To know more about it, we have amidst us our distinguished speaker, Dr. Manoj Lewis from Mangalore. To introduce our speaker and to give the topic introduction, I call upon Ms. S. Indra, Assistant Professor, Department of Electronics of Sri Ramakrishna College of Arts and Science, for the introduction.
Thank you, Ms. Novina. I'm very happy. Today, I would like to start with a quote. And one new initiative action is better than 34 years of repeated action. Yes. So today's topic is pros and cons on the implementation of national education policy in higher education institutions. We know that education is a great leveler and is the best tool for achieving economic and social mobility, inclusion, and equality. So to deliver a lecture on this topic, we have an eminent person with us. It's my privilege to introduce our resource person to this forum. The resource person for this session is Dr. Manoj Louis, Associate Professor, Government First Grade College, Kavur, Mangalore. He taught for a decade at St. Aloysius College, Mangalore. He joined government service in 2009. He presented papers at international and national level conferences and won the best paper and presented award 9 times. He had published 11 books for BCom and BBA students of different University of Karnataka in the area of GST, direct tax, real estate management, personal investment management, and e-commerce. He trained thousands of teachers and students on various topics through YouTube channel. He trained teachers of 18 districts of Karnataka on different topics ranging from GST, communication, income tax returns filing, accounting, personal investment, national education policy, etc. He is the General Secretary of Mangalore University Commerce Teacher Association. He acted as a trainer at the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, southern region for Mangalore, Thrissur, Calicut, and Kannur branches. He trained Mangalore University commerce teachers, around 350 teachers, on effective delivery in national education policy using technology and case study approaches in teaching and learning. He trained teachers on digital valuation of university exam papers. He is an ICAI exam paper valuer for direct tax and principles and practice of accounting. And he is the professional compere for corporate events. And his motto is give your best and the best will come back to you. Yes, sir. We would like to give best to our participants. That's why we have invited you for this session. So now the session is yours. Please carry on. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Indra. Thank you, Madam Novina. A very good afternoon to all the participants. And it's a pleasure to be a part of this NAAC-sponsored national virtual seminar on transforming quality of teaching by adopting and innovating ICT tools and techniques, a key focus area of NEP 2020. It gives me immense pleasure because probably this is the second time that I'm addressing teachers outside Karnataka when it comes to the topic of NEP 2020. You know, though the title that is given for this particular session is pros and cons of NEP 2020 in higher education institutions, I would rather speak on NEP 2020 Karnataka experience. Because Karnataka has become the first state to implement NEP. There are a lot of teachers who would say whether it is implemented in haste, no proper planning was done for implementation, and thousands of other things. We always say better late than never. But we weren't late, we were the first. And the complaint, as I mentioned, is whether we have implemented in a hasty manner. All the loopholes have not been covered. But I look at it from a very positive side. In the sense, what I'm going to present to you all today, definitely you all can take back and find a better way to implement it in your respective states. I believe Punjab has taken a lead, Uttar Pradesh has taken a lead, Tamil Nadu government, obviously more so for political reasons, rejected the idea of NEP 2020. They are planning to bring something at their state level itself. So it's a welcome step. No doubt, 34 years of doing the same thing and doing a new thing, is always better than 34 years, as Madam very rightfully said at the beginning. So I'll just share my presentation, and the session would go like this. I would want you all to ask questions from time to time, and don't just wait till the end. Maybe at the end also, I'll be very happy to clarify your doubt then and there itself. But more so, if I believe if you have a certain very relevant question, and that question I can answer maybe a little later as a part of my presentation, so you can excuse me and I will definitely answer all your questions. So please don't worry about it. But I would want a slightly interactive session from all my teachers, all my teachers in the same fraternity that we are in. So I'll just share my presentation. So feel free to ask questions. Please make use of the chat box also to ask your questions, and you can unmute as well and you can ask your questions. Feel free. So I have access to the chat box also. I've joined through another device as well. So please don't worry about that. Yes, ma'am. Yes, I believe the screen is visible because it's visible to me on my phone. Yes, yes. All right. All right. So the national education policy, you call it, or the new education policy, you call it, it's one and the same. So as I said, I am going to speak about, my experience of bringing about a change, because we did not accept whatever the government said. We brought about, slight changes. What are those changes that we brought about as an association based at a very small town, city in Karnataka, that is Mangalore, very closer to Kerala border. And what change did we bring in for entire Karnataka? Because I doubt many of the teacher associations were really interested. They were just, following the wait and watch policy. But I can say Mangalore University Commerce Teachers Association took a lead and, thought that these are the changes would definitely be relevant for the coming national education policy. Okay, what are the things that I'm going to cover in this particular session? I will spend very limited time on the school education part under NEP 2020 because now Karnataka government is implementing NEP in the +2, the junior college or the 11th and the 12th, and also at the foundational level. That's what I am aware, and we are going to go ahead. Then I'll speak on higher education. What is the dictionary, new terminologies that we have under NEP, credits in NEP, NEP terms, objectives of NEP, special features. And very important, since our focus is on quality, the teacher skills that are needed for NEP. And finally, I'd like to conclude. Beautiful quote by Malala Yousafzai. One child, one teacher, one pen, and one book can change the world. A beautiful quote. Going along with that, Nelson Mandela's very famous thought, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Obviously, we need to have a changed education methodology so that our delivery is better and we can reach out to our students in a much effective way. But I like this particular quote the most. And I believe if you implement this in your class, or if you have been implementing whether an old policy or a new policy, does not mind at all. I never teach my pupils. I only provide the conditions in which they can learn, said Albert Einstein. The point is very simple. He speaks about the environment, the classroom environment. If you can create an environment where the students engage themselves, students are totally engrossed in what you're doing. If you are involving students, if you are using, practical thoughts, taking them on the ground, because I remember one or two junior colleges in Mangalore, though they had, the air conditioned setup, their classrooms, the state-of-the-art infrastructure. But the chairman would always say, if you have to teach students botany, just take them out to the garden and teach. This is the outlook that we as teachers, we need to have. Because for some teachers, that board or a laptop or the chalk and all these things works out. But if we can create an environment where students are involved, today we talk about blended learning, today we talk about the flipped classroom concepts and all those things. But these are all new names, but there are many teachers who have been practicing all these much before. But today the conceptual names are given by flipped classroom. So if you can create an environment for your students, automatically learning will happen. And finally, I love another quote from B.F. Skinner, a psychologist. He says, education is what remains when you forget everything. A beautiful quote. So I would like to keep, these 4 quotes in mind and start with my today's presentation. As we are aware, this is the school part of it. I'll be slightly quick. So if you have any questions, possibly you can ask at the end. Higher education related, you can ask me then and there itself. So as you are aware that 10 plus 2 plus 3 is now 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. I have some questions as well to ask you all. Feel free to answer that in the chat box. The old system focused from the age of 6 years, that is first standard, whereas the new education policy focuses from the age of 3 years. Matter of joy or matter of concern? See, as a concerned teacher, I would say this is a matter of concern for me and not joy. Moving further, I would like to ask you a question. If you have done little studies when it comes to education, can anyone tell me in which country are the students very happy to go to school? Anyone? I'm waiting for your reply in the chat box. Can anyone tell me which is the happiest, in which country the students are the happiest to go to school? Anyone? In the world. Okay, there is one. Sherman says America. Okay, there is one answer that I have got. Okay, I'll just go to the.
Sorry, is it Denmark?
Madam, okay, there are some answers. We have received 2 right answers. Urgesh is saying that it's India. Okay, very good. I've got the 3rd right answer. Dr. Karunam, then IQAC-SRCAS, Krishna Priya Madam, this is Finland. Can anyone tell me at what age do the students come to school in Finland? That's another very important point. I'm waiting for answers in the chat box. At what age do the students come to school? Okay. Shaz is saying 4. Nazia is saying 5. Murgesh is saying 5. Come on. At what? Okay, Madam Indra, IQAC is saying at the age of 8. Kavin is saying 10. Nivedan is saying 7. Wonderful, wonderful. It is definitely not 6 years. Finland. And even though, why are they happy? Let's go back to that. Why are the children studying in schools in Finland very happy? They are not taught ABCD at the age of 7 years, for your information. They are taught how to climb trees. They are taught how to live with nature. They are taught how to live, building their social skills from a very young age. Why am I saying all these things is, the title is pros and cons of NEP. I am asking you whether NEP has touched upon this particular factor. Because we say quite a few ideas that NEP talks about has been borrowed from the best of the institutes across the world. But the question is, did the policy makers of NEP study the Finland model? That is my question. Because there it starts at the age of 7. And they don't teach you the letters or alphabets of English, whatever you call it. But they teach you how to climb trees, how to build your social skills. That is what they teach you. That's why the children enjoy coming to school there. No homework at all. So these are some important things that, the NEP policymaker should have looked at. Now we just check this. In lighter vein, I would like to say, NEP focuses from the age of 3 years. See, a lady is pregnant. Already the likely to be dad and mom already decide what their children would do in life moving further. But present day, the parents' thought process has changed a little and say the child will decide. Now the question is, there how many such parents in our country? That is what I'm asking you. Because sometimes the parents would want their children to fulfill their unfulfilled dreams. But they don't realize that the child may have his or her own dream going forward. When I say 3 years, while the lady is pregnant or the day the child is born or the second day when all the relatives, people talk about ABCD to the child. Say A, say B. But imagine Finland model, 7 years, no ABCD at all. This is the beauty of Finland, school model, which I believe the policymakers of NEP has failed to understand. Moving ahead. Now, the old structure would look something like this. 10 plus 2, that is 6 to 16 years. 6 years was the time you got into the first standard. So it was 10 plus 2 model. That is the old system. The new pedagogical curriculum structure is, it starts, as I said, from the age of 3 years. That is 6 to 8 years. The class 1 and moving further. That is 3 years is the first 3 to 6 years. That is Anganwadi, preschool or Balavatika as it is called. Then 2 years, next 2 years, 3 plus 2. So that is 6 to 8 years. Just 1 second. Yeah, that is the foundational mode. Then again 3 years. That's 3 to 5, 8 to 11 years. That is preparatory mode. Then 3 years, 6 to 8. That is 11 to 14 years. This is the middle. And 4 years. That is class 9 to 12, 14 to 18 years. That is the secondary level. Then we come to the higher education, plus 4. Plus 4, I will talk about that. I don't call it as plus 4 moving ahead. It is, I call it as 3 plus 1. There is a specific reason for that. All right. Now I'll be slightly quick on this. These are all work in progress right now. The early childhood care and education. That is a national curriculum and pedagogical framework for early childhood care and education. So it's a work in progress right now. Till the age of 18 years by the NCRT. Then rich local traditions. The focus is more on, studying local and thinking global. Similarly, EC stands for standalone Anganwadis or located primary schools, collaborative. So all these points we have. This is about school education. So also, prior to the age of 5 years, every child will move to preparatory class or Balavatika, be an ECCE, early childhood care and education, trained and qualified teacher, we say. So this is school related, so I'm slightly quick. All right. The next part is the foundational literacy and numeracy. This is the basic thing that we have. See, we talk about the children not being able to read and write, do basic mathematics, we say. But let me go ahead and complain to all the teachers present in this virtual gathering that a person who has done his PhD in electronics, just I'm taking an example. So those who are electronic, qualified teachers, please don't feel bad for what I'm just giving an example. They are not able to change a small bulb or a tube light at home. What is the use of doing a PhD? That is the basic point that I'm talking about. Here, NEP talks about the foundational literacy and numeracy. Then very important is the pupil-teacher ratio, 30:1 in a normal situation. And underprivileged or socially disadvantaged areas, it is one teacher for every 25 students. So I believe that's a good one. Then a national repository of high-quality resources will be created by the name Diksha, and enjoyable and inspirational books for students at all levels to be developed in all Indian languages as well. If you are a language teacher, if you have flair for more than one other than English, I think you have a wonderful opportunity on an, as far as NEP is concerned, you can, do the work of translation. It's a great opportunity that's coming the way of teachers who can do translation from English language to, the local language, or for that matter, one regional language to another regional language as well. They are more welcome. And I think the UGC is working towards creation of MOOC courses in local languages as well. So that's a wonderful opportunity for teachers in higher education. You can think of not just this college related, even the school related as well. Then curriculum and pedagogy in school, holistic, integrated, enjoyable, engaging, experiential. And finally, we talk about flexibility in course choices. See, we can say holistic, integrated, enjoyable, engaging, experiential. But it has been a big, big challenge to attain the sixth one, flexibility in course choices. There are hardly very few states in India, which offers flexibility in courses. For example, I am interested in Bharatnatyam. I take a Bharatnatyam as one paper. I'm interested in studying, say, income tax. I take income tax as my paper, and very much excited to study chemistry. Can you imagine a student coming into higher education studying Bharatnatyam, income tax, and physics or chemistry for that matter? Can we do that? That actually was choice-based. Remember this. But then choice-based was not implemented in its true spirit. Only for namesake, we say naam ke vaste it was implemented, and that flexibility only remained a dream as far as higher education is concerned. I don't say all states. I would say majority states were not able to implement that flexibility in course choices. Integrated, yes, all those points that you are already part of. Then multilingualism, at least till grade 5, the the local language, mother tongue should have been used for, but whether implementable or not, there is a question mark. The point is very simple. We are all parents. Would you send your children, for those in Tamil Nadu, would you send your children to Tamil medium schools? In Karnataka, to Kannada medium schools. In Kerala, Malayalam medium schools. In Andhra Pradesh or say Telangana, Telugu medium schools. Can we, as parents, can we think of doing that? How many? Maybe 1 out of 10. Maybe 1 out of 10. So this is what NEP talks about. But then whether it is implementable, feasible, no one has any idea about it. Because if I have to speak about Karnataka experience, nearly 3 years back, 2019, nearly 132 Kannada medium schools were closed because there were no students at all. Remember this. After that, this policy came and saying that till 5th standard, we should have Kannada as the language in schools. Mother tongue should be used. So whether feasible or not, that I have no guarantee at all. Then what are the things that, the NEP focuses on both at school as well as college level, higher education? Proficiency in languages, aesthetics and art, health and nutrition, problem solving and logical reasoning, vocational technology and values. And let me tell you, the 5 branches that you see on top, those 5 branches are 21st century skills that every student needs, whether a student studying in school, whether a student studying in higher education. So these are 5 areas. Actually, there are many skills. Actually, I think there are around 21 skills or 20 skills in all that present students need to cover. And these skills, part of it is all right here. But it doesn't cover all, but NEP focuses on these major areas. Okay, examination part in schools. Third, fifth, and eighth standard schools exam will continue. 10th and 12th will continue as usual. And the marks card will be a 360-degree marks card. So my marks card won't look like a marks card. It would look like some script of some movie of that particular year of a student. Entire, biography, what was done, what was the outcome, all these aspects. So 360-degree marks card is what is thought of. Then these are the three things that is a work in progress right now. National Assessment Center, known as PARAK, Performance Assessment, Review and Analysis of Knowledge Work, Holistic Development. Then we already have in place an NTA, which presently conducts our UGC examination. And presently all examinations of the national level will be done through NTA. Even I can go to the extent of saying the entrance for universities, they are integrated programs, all those entrance exam will be done through NTA itself, National Testing Agency. Then we have guidelines for education of gifted children, talented children, children who are ready to go for higher order thinking skills, we can say. Specialization in B.Ed program in the education of gifted children, because we want quality teachers. We want quality teachers to come into the education system and really train the present and the next generation. Okay, the B.Ed story. This is the B.Ed story. 4 years integrated program, on par with, as I said, 3+1, soon after the +2 class. Then 2-year B.Ed program, if you obtained a bachelor's degree, that is 3 years graduate program. Then 1-year B.Ed program for those who have completed their master's degree, or 4 years honors degree that we have under NAP as right now. And B.Ed program will be offered both in blended or online distance learning mode as well. This is what the NAP part of school education mentions, and specifically B.Ed related. Let's come to the higher education part now. Now I'm bringing in my Karnataka experience as far as presentation of NAP is concerned. So if you have any questions on school related, you can please type it in the chat box and keep ready. I will try to answer those. NAP dictionary. This is more so to do with the higher education, and that's what I have seen in the Karnataka policy of NAP. We have courses by the name DSTC, DSEC, AECC. What are all these? Discipline-specific core course, discipline-specific elective course, ability enhancement core course. Then we have open elective that you can choose from your from other than your background. If you are a commerce, you have to choose from non-commerce background. If you are a humanities students, you can choose other than humanities from commerce, management, science, other areas. Then we have skill enhancement course. VB stands for value-based, SB stands for skill-based. Then we have vocational courses, continuous internal evaluation, semester and examination, academic bank of credit, and credit transfer. So I would talk about ABC and CT a little later, because ABC I have to speak about it. So with little basic idea, I'll speak about what is academic bank of credit and also what is this credit transfer. In case if I don't speak of credit transfer, please remind me. Credits in NAP, this is more to do with our Karnataka. 1 teaching hour is equal to 1 credit. Earlier, under choice based, as far as I know, the credits were associated with marks of the paper. But under NAP, credit is associated with the teaching hours. Whether you teach for 3 hours or 4 hours, that will decide the credit. 2 practical hours is equal to 1 credit. Now, this is more so to do with some skill enhancement courses, the skill-based ones. That is, in Karnataka, it need not be implemented as it is in other states. The number of students for practical class is 50 or less. Then 2 practical hours will be taken as 1 teaching hour. If the number of students of practical class exceeds 50, that means 1 practical hour will be taken as 1 teaching hour. So 2 practical hours will be taken as 2 teaching hours itself. This is Karnataka specific. That is what I am sharing with you all. Okay, let's get the term rights. Earlier we used to call income tax as a subject, physics as a subject. It is no longer a subject, it is a course. So chemistry is a course, BSc is a program, physics is a course, management is a course. Understand this. So no use of the word subject, we use the term courses. Actually, it is very much there in NAAC. Then course combinations, you call it as BA, BCom, BBA, or BCA or BSc, BSW, whatever you have, those are called programs. So we need to get these terms right. Very, very important. So BA is a program, BCom is a program, BCA is a program, BBA is a program. Whereas physics, chemistry, maths, zoology, botany are all courses. Remember this. So these are terms that you need to be aware of. Objectives of NEP. The basic objective of NEP is employability. Now, when I say employability, please understand, it is not just about seeking employment. Here,
यार
also about
क्या
providing.
हो रहा है इधर देखो ना PDF में सब कुछ सही है लेकिन वो जो तुमने ऊपर MS Word पे सेंड किया है ना उसमें हर चीज कट गई है एक सवाल भी कट गया है पता नहीं अजीब हो रही बनवाई नहीं मिला इतने बड़े ना उसको देखो
Madam Nasia,
इनका जो प्रिंट मशीन है ना वो PDF में प्रिंट नहीं करता है
Madam Indra, if you can, yes. All right.
So sorry for the interruption, sir.
Okay, the basic objective of NEP is employability. And when I say employability is not about just seeking employment. It's about providing employment as well. Entrepreneurship, unicorn, startups, all these are a part of it. Employability, how? Making India a global knowledge hub. Pride in our language and our country. Create global citizens. To bring highest quality, equity, and integrity. And revision of education sector, definitely NEP, and to unleash the creative potential of every student. You know, this is what NEP focuses on overall. If you have to write down 6 areas that should be the outcome of national education policy, the major one is employability. That means I should be capable of employment. But that employment capability should be with pride in my language, should be with morality, should be holistic, should it be with values. So that is what we are looking at, unleashing the creative potential of every student. Because I would say in lighter vein, you know, Mangalore is a very competitive educational area, I would say. There are top schools that we have, and quite a few students from abroad, from different parts of Karnataka come to Mangalore to do their studies. When I'm saying this, soon after the results are out, say 10th standard examination, the schools will put up a beautiful board, 100% result. Okay. And maybe the school might have got a first rank, a second rank, or third rank in the state board, or CBSE for that matter. 100, this many passes, this many first class, and all this. Similarly, a junior college, 10th, 11th, and 12th standard pre-university, we call it in Karnataka. They also put up a board that 100% pass. But tell me what board we have to put up for higher education. Those who have completed students, those who have completed graduation. Can I say that the student has got 100% pass? What should be the outcome of higher education? Can anyone tell me? Anyone? I'm waiting for your answers in chat box. Can anyone tell me what board should I put as a stakeholder in higher education? Tell me, can I just put 100% pass in my subject? Or our BCom courses has always given 100% results in university examination. Is that sufficient if I say that? Come on, I'm asking you all. Anyone? What board should I put up? Come on, we have so many teachers, I believe, in higher education, so we should know what board that I should put up. Employability says Ganesh, sir. Okay, employability. No, I mean to say skill development. Okay, placement. Thank you, Madam Novena. Can you just explain, Mr. Ganesh, what do you mean by employability? Obviously, I'm not looking at the term employability which you see on the screen. According to you, what do you feel? What board should I put up? Madam Novena, can you just explain the concept of placement that you said? If it is okay.
So maybe if we provide with our students with 100% placement, maybe that caption I can mention in my college board.
Wonderful, madam. Wonderful. I think as stakeholders, teachers in higher education institution, our board should be our all BCom, our all graduates have got employment. 100% placement. The question is, which college, which higher education institution in the country can dare to put up that particular board? That is what I'm asking. So if NEP can address that particular issue, I think then we say NEP has done well. If the outcome of NEP is just pass percentage in higher education institution, then I don't think we are going to, really benefit out of this changed policy. That is what is my personal take. So let's move ahead. Special features of NEP. See, though it is said the graduation program is now 4 years, I don't call it as 4 years. I call it as 3 + 1 years. I have my own idea of telling that. So maybe I can convince you with the next slide. Don't worry. 3 + 1 years. Multiple entry, multiple exits. What is it? I will tell you. You can choose courses of your choice, but within the limits. See, I sometimes in lighter when I compare choosing of courses to going to a hotel or a restaurant. If my restaurant is serving idli, vada, dosas and everything, I have a choice. But if my restaurant is serving only idli, only dosa, then what choice do I have? I now, replace hotels with colleges. If my college is offering only BCom, then how can I offer a humanities and a science course as a choice to my student? If my college is only BCA, what offering can I give from management or commerce stream for my students to choose? That's why NEP, the document focuses on interdisciplinary institutions, we say, so that a student is given a wide varieties. Vegetarians, please excuse me. You have to have Mughlai items. You have to have continental items. You need to have tandoori items. You need to have Chinese items, everything. And when a client or a customer in a restaurant enters the restaurant, you give a beautiful menu card. He can choose one item from Chinese, one from continental, one from Mughlai, one from Arabic dishes. That would be the real choice. Remember this. That's why NEP wants all the institutions to become multidisciplinary institutions by 2030. That is the idea. That is the lookout. That's why the standalone institutions, now if you look at IIMs, IIT, they are also moving into humanities, into literature as a part of, because when I say IIT, Indian Institute of Technology, so the question is, why do they need a humanities department? But today, they are coming out with courses on humanities literature as well. So we have to understand this. So that's why it stresses on the multidisciplinary courses in a particular college. Then we have Academic Bank of Credit. Yes, I will now speak about Academic Bank of Credit. A student is free to enroll for recognized or approved online programs for up to 40% of the credit. See, as a teacher, I would like to give you some information. There are so many MOOC courses that are available, the massive open online courses for a student to choose from. Apart from MOOC, I can give you 2-3 sites. Future Skills Prime Network, the initiative of National Skill Development Corporation, NSDC. I beg your pardon, the NASCOM initiative, the National Association of Software Companies, Future Skills Prime platform. There are so many free courses available where your students can enroll. Second, Infosys Springboard. There are more than 2,500 courses free of cost to any student who logs on to Infosys Springboard. So likewise, there are many other institutions which are offering courses free of cost to students, but they are to be recognized, approved online programs. So while the students are attending their regular colleges, apart from that, they can get into, these courses also. And if it is a recognized or an approved course, it will be included as a part of that student's credit. And that credit will accumulate. And that accumulated credit is called as Academic Bank of Credit, we say. So a student can do a program inside the college, definitely, and also enroll for online approved and recognized programs as well, and can continue to earn more credits every semester. Up to 40% of the credit can be earned, but this is not at the cost of college attendance. Remember this. If you have got that academic news just 2 weeks back, UGC announced that a student can pursue a dual course. If a student is pursuing one PG, he can do another PG at the same time. Similarly, this possibly is beneficial for students in cities, because if I take a city like Mumbai, the college is from 7 o'clock to 11:30, 12 o'clock. So in afternoon, a student can enroll for another course. Same level. If you're doing diploma, you can do a second diploma. If you're doing your graduation, you can do another graduation. If you're doing your post-graduation, you can do another post-graduation. So that would very well work out in cities. and it's good for the students as well. Another area that I wanted to talk about is before a learner-centric education, curriculum, pedagogy, and assessment, and that is credit transfer. I have to speak about this credit transfer. What is this credit transfer? Let's imagine a student is enrolled in Mangalore University. There are around 13 state universities in Karnataka. So enrolls in Mangalore University. And a student completes, say, one semester in Mangalore University, or let's say he completes 2 semesters, 1 year of his studies in Mangalore University. And let's imagine his dad and mom gets transferred to Bangalore. It is very easy for him to take the credits earned in Mangalore University and shift to any college under Bangalore University. He completes his 3rd and 4th semester in Bangalore University. And again, his parents get a transfer. Let's imagine to Mysore. So he can transfer his 2 years credit to a college under Mysore University, continue study. That means to say a student is free to study in any college in Karnataka. That is called as credit transfer. From one university to another university, a student can freely transfer all the credits that he has earned in the earlier year. That is the flexibility that NEP offers. Remember this. But how many students would do that? That is a negligible number. But under NEP, there is a concept called credit transfer. You can change your university also. But if you are asking me a question, can we change the state? Presently, I can tell you, I don't have an answer. Because when it comes to state, it is not just education, it's also about politics as well. Remember this. So I don't have an answer whether a student, who completes 1st year in Karnataka, can he successfully directly go to 2nd year in Kerala and do his 2 semester studies of that particular year? I don't have an answer right now because all states have not adopted NEP. That is the point, the reason, specific point, that's why I cannot elaborate on that. Yes. So moving ahead. If you have any questions, feel free. I will definitely answer. Now, I mentioned earlier that the graduation or NEP is a honors program is not 4 years. I called it as 3 + 1 year. Understand this. This is the critical slide. If a student exits at the end of 2 semesters, that is at the end of the 1st year, 2 semesters, he is eligible for a certificate. If a student discontinues, let's imagine something happened in the family, and to support the family income, a student has to discontinue his study. And if the student discontinues at the end of 2nd semester, that student is eligible for a certificate. Suppose if a student was a student of BCom, let's imagine, he completed his 2 semesters of BCom. So, and if he discontinues at the end of 2nd semester, he will be given a certificate in commerce. Certificate in commerce. If that same student discontinues at the end of 2nd year, that is after completion of 4th semester, he is eligible to receive a diploma in commerce. If a student completes or leaves at the end of 3 years, that is 6 semesters, he is eligible for a bachelor's degree. Now here, I would like to bring in a point. This is the present system. But in the present system, if a student would leave at the end of 2nd sem, student would not get any certificate. Only marks card is what is going to get. But if for any reason a student discontinues, a learner discontinues at the end of 2nd semester, he gets a certificate program. He gets a diploma program at the end of 2 years, 4th semester. He gets a bachelor's degree at the end of 6th sem. Now, for those, I mean to say, especially commerce and management students, many of them would leave their studies at the end of 6th semester because they would like to get into CA, CS, ICMA, CFA, where bachelor's degree is the eligibility. Now, moving ahead further, if a student wants to continue his 7th and 8th semester, at the end of 7th and 8th semester, he will get what is called as an honors degree. Remember this. Eligible for an honors degree. So at the end of 8th semester. Now, one important point, and I would like to show some courses also that are there. In the 7th and 8th semester, please listen carefully. In the 7th semester, there is a common paper called research methodology. Whether you are a commerce student, management student, art student, science student, humanities, social work. In the 7th semester, there is a paper, compulsory paper called research methodology. I will show you that. And in the 8th semester, there is a paper on project. That project or 2 elective papers we have. So in the 8th semester, it is project or 2 elective papers. Understand, in the 7th semester, there is a compulsory paper on research methodology. And in the 8th semester, there is a project, a research project. That project is not compulsory. Either you undertake a project or you undertake 2 papers, 2 elective papers there. Now, if a student studies research methodology, student will definitely study because it's a compulsory paper in 7th sem. And if in the 8th semester, if a student takes up research project, then after completing his honors degree, it will be a 1-year post-graduation. But if a student studies research methodology and does not do research project, is not interested in post-graduation, and rather takes up 2 elective papers, then post-graduation will be for 2 years. Understand this point very, very clearly. So a paper on research methodology and a research project in the 8th sem, if it is done, post-graduation is only for 1 year. But if the research methodology 7th sem paper is done, but in the 8th sem, suppose project is not done, rather 2 electives are chosen, then post-graduation will be for 2 years. So I expect a lot of questions from this. Possibly I can show you the courses also a little later. Then about decoding the continuous internal evaluation, this is what we have. And I'm very proud of this particular thing. See, when the government of Karnataka, rather the higher education team put forward, it was 70-30. What you see right now, Madam Indra, if you can tell the participants to...
We request all the participants to mute your mic. Sir, Arnab sir, can you mute your mic, please? Thank you. Sir,
Okay.
for the inconvenience.
No problem. So this is about, again, the Karnataka model. When originally the draft was given to us, it was 70-30. This is where Mangalore University Commerce Teachers Association played a very important part and changed it to 60-40. We wanted 50-50. Our Vice Chancellor took the lead in presenting 50-50 concept to all the Vice Chancellors across Karnataka. But we understand that quite a few Vice Chancellors are very much aged and they didn't want to allow that much of power in a teacher's hand to make it 50-50. So they brought it down, or they did not accept our 50-50 idea, but they took it as 40-60. But what the Karnataka State Higher Education Council has told us is this is not final. Next year, we may change once again to 50-50. It's a work in progress. Now, what is this 50-50? I'll just show the 40-60 breakup right here. Continuous and comprehensive evaluation. The CC is 20 marks. Internal assessment test is for 20 marks. That makes up for 40. And semester and examination is 60 marks. So all our semester exams are going on right now. Today also we have NAP exams going on for the first semester BCom. And it's for 60 marks and it's for 2 hours only. Now, as far as this 20 marks breakup that I would like to tell you is how we have broken up. So from point 1 to 8, individual assignments, seminars, classroom presentation, quizzes, group discussion, participator, industrial learning, field visits. It's field visits, sorry. It's typed as field visits there. Practical activities, problem solving exercise, participation in seminars, academic events, symposia, mini projects, capstone projects, any other academic activity. You can choose any 4 out of that and allot 2.5 marks each. That would be 10 marks. And what you see down in red, that is the 9th one, is Zoho books and case studies. Zoho books is a wonderful application which we have included in the Mangalore University BCom curriculum. And it's a wonderful app, far better than Tally, that I can say. And many of the chartered accountants are suggesting their clients to maintain books on Zoho books. All small businesses, it's a collaboration of accounting, taxation, GST, your financial management, everything all inclusive in one. That is for practical papers. And case study approach for all the theory papers like management, marketing, then strategic management, and all those papers we say we make use of case study approach as far as teaching is concerned. And that Zoho books or case studies exclusive is 10 marks. Point number 1 to 8 is 10 marks. Zoho books and case studies, depending upon the type of paper, it is 10. So that is 10 plus 10, 20. And then we have 2 internal assessment tests we have of 25 marks each. And this is for 10 marks. That will be scaled down to 10 marks. That will reduce to 10 and 10. It's a 1 hour paper for 25 marks. And that is all specified by Karnataka State Higher Education Council. Remember this. I can just show you the IIT template for IIT. This is the question paper pattern that is suggested. This is more to do with commerce. So even humanities or science or social work, it is same 25 marks itself, but the section may change and the allotted marks may change. This is just the BCom part or the MCom part that I'm showing. Next to decoding semester end examination. Yes.
A few questions are posted in the chat box, sir.
Madam, can I just finish? I'm almost on the verge of finishing. Then we'll have enough time to answer all the questions.
Okay, sir. Thank you,
Yes.
sir.
Then semester end examination, it is 60 marks, not 50 marks. And 50 marks is basically for the science papers. So fulfill minimum attendance requirement. No change in attendance. It is minimum 75% in all the courses. Then University Board of Studies will notify the framework for semester end examination. And remember, it's a 2 hours paper. Now, something that you would be interested in, and I would like to just show what is the model for different courses that we have. So just have a look at the models that we are following in Karnataka for all the different programs that we have. So it's just opening. I've just given a hyperlink. So this possibly I'll have to send to the organizers separately. I will do that. Not a problem at all. Okay. It's taking its own sweet time to open. We have almost reached the end. Not a problem. So I'll just check some questions till it opens. Any questions in the chat box? Sir, if a student is not interested for research, why should we make research paper compulsory? Okay. Then can a student have option of credit transfer from regular mode university to online education or vice versa? This is a very interesting one. But then whether regular mode or online mode, that will be decided by the concerned university. I don't think in Karnataka we have the exclusive online education. You know, you are speaking about the distance education. If we have to do it within the university, that is well and good. It will be taken. That option is available. Then, okay, Madam Indra's question is available. If a student is not interested for research, why should we make research paper compulsory? Madam, point is very simple. Research methodology is just another paper. Research methodology is just another paper. I think I'll do one thing. I'll just close this. It is better that I close. I'll just show you that particular format separately. Okay. Okay, any other question you have until this, because I think it seems to be a little stuck. I can show you the, okay, there is a question. I will answer that. Regarding publications for UG students, sir. Madam Vishalakshi, if you can unmute and ask me clearly, what exactly are you talking about?
Sir, as you said that if the students, they are going for a research for the final year, so during that time, like other PhD scholars, they want to publish their papers in Scopus. So any sort of constraints?
Absolutely. See, as far as publication is concerned, absolutely no issues at all. A student doesn't have to become a teacher to publish a paper. We very well understand that. So it is as simple as that. If we can, if the student has done good quality research and has the paper ready, I think a student is free to do research. There is no problem at all. There is no problem. Publication can be done. And interestingly, publication a student need not do after completing the research methodology paper. Na? That is what I'm saying.
Okay,
yes.
Sir. Okay, sir. Yes, sir. Actually, the final year is totally research oriented. So if the student want to publish any paper, they can publish either in conference or anything, right, sir? Is it so, or any they want to publish in a Scopus or
okay. No restrictions at all. If the paper is a quality paper, there is no restrictions at all. So let's not worry about that. Okay. Any other question?
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
The computer is more.
Madam Ashwini, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I written down. It is necessary for a choice masters. Have you got any details? At the same time.
Sir, can you post your questions in the chat box?
Yeah, I have already posted them.
Dear participants, kindly wait. Our speaker has some technical issues, so he will be back in few minutes. Sorry for the inconvenience. Kindly do bear with us.
So meanwhile, if you have any questions, you can post in the chat box. The resource person will answer your questions.
Madam, am I audible? I'm speaking from another. Yeah, I'm using my phone now. Just
We can hear you, sir.
yeah. Okay. I will try to answer another question. Meanwhile, I'll try to join again because I think the computer is stuck. Okay, the next question, twice master at same time is necessary. Ashwani, I'm not very sure what are you asking.
Sir, I am asking about the.
Okay, after discontinuation, can student continue again for some years? Wonderful question, Ganesh sir. See, that is the idea of NEP. If you remember, when I showed you the slide, I mentioned that at the end of second semester, at the end of fourth semester, at the end of sixth semester. If the question was at the end of first semester, if a student leaves, a student doesn't get anything, for your information. Understand that. But if the student completes the second semester and then the student is moving out, let's imagine if the student is moving out and after 3 or 4 years the student wants to come back and continue his studies, a student can directly start from third semester because he will bring in his certificate, and from their third semester, classes he can continue. Just imagine under the existing system, if you discontinue your studies at the end of first year and you come back again back to university after 4 years, you'd have had to start from first year again. That was the problem. That's why this NEP gives you the flexibility. But point is, a student should complete even semesters. First 2 semesters, second semester, fourth semester, and sixth semester. Suppose if a student completes a second semester classes and leaves the course, he gets a diploma. Maybe he is in employment, and after some 3-4 years, he wants to come back again and continue. He can directly enroll for fifth semester and he can continue with his studies. There is absolutely no problem at all. The biggest gain of NEP, as I look at it, is flexibility. Understand that. There is flexibility. Very good question, Ganesha. Yes, NEP 2020 promotes online and distance education, but engineering and medical courses are not offered by any university in India through online or distance mode. I perfectly agree with you, Abhishek sir. There is a lot of, for this particular question, I have an answer in a very lighter vein, if I'm allowed to do that in a lighter vein. And that is, I think I am back on the computer, just 1 second. I believe I am visible and audible.
You're audible, sir.
Yeah.
You're
Visibility is coming. Visibility is on the way. Don't worry. I'll just share my screen. Just 2 more slides I have. But we have quite a few questions, so I appreciate that. So I was talking about Abhishek sir's question. Engineering and medical courses are not offered by any universities in India through online or distance mode. I perfectly agree with you, sir. In lighter vein, I would like to tell you, I, if I initiate a new program, certificate course in swimming through distance mode, certificate course in swimming through distance mode, I would say, books hamara, pani tumhara. We will send you books. What should be the angle of your hand for a butterfly, for a breaststroke? All those, various, techniques are concerned as far as swimming is concerned. Many of them would enroll for my course, for your information, write the examination, score a first class marks without getting into water. That's why I say certificate course in swimming through distance mode. This I use it in lighter vein. There is a specific reason as to why I'm saying what I said. There is a specific reason. Okay, so there are many. Now, engineering and medical field is something that, we have to do it practically. You have to. I hope the Word document is visible. This is what I wanted to show earlier. This is the model that we have. I will just increase the size so that it's visible to everyone. Okay, is it visible?
Yes, sir.
I'll just go down. I'll just talk about what I spoke. This is for BCom, whether you take BCom, BB, or Bachelor's in Social Work. That is model program structure. I will come back to the 7th and the 8th semester. There you see a paper on research methodology. Do you see this? Research methodology. And the 8th semester, there's a paper research project, and there is an asterisk mark there. Then asterisk mark there. I'll just go down. And this is for BCom BBA. If I go down, say this is now Bachelor of Commerce, Basic and Honors, you'll find the same thing. Just check 7th and 8th semester. I go down, this is for computer application. Just check 7th and 8th sem. Research methodology, research project. This is for Bachelors of Science and Arts, Basic and Honor program. You see 7th and 8th sem, research methodology and research project we have. No matter which program we are talking about, 7th and 8th sem, you'll find that something very, very common. This is Bachelors of Arts, research methodology and research project we have. Then same thing here as well. So you can go on for all the programs that you see, you will have, there are different models that has been proposed, but then it is left to the, what I should say, the concerned universities to implement it. It is left to the universities to implement it. So that's a very, very important point. Okay, I'll just stop presenting this. Yes, 2 more slides I have. I will just give me a second. The PPT was closed. I'll just open it for everyone. Just 2 slides remaining. Then we'll take a lot of questions. I'm open. Okay. In the meantime, if there are any questions that you have, I will just check in the chat box. Abhishek sir, tell me if you are satisfied with my answer.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I am satisfied with the answer, sir.
All right. Because there are some courses which cannot be done through online and distance mode, and which the important 2 courses that you pointed out are specifically those courses, engineering and medicine. So definitely, and one more thing about NEP that I need to update. In Karnataka, government had made Kannada compulsory, but then the court had to intervene and they changed the decision, and they said in higher education, state language cannot be made compulsory, because on one side we are talking about giving an opportunity for the student to choose, and in the second place the government is making a language compulsory. And the High Court upheld that and said, nothing doing, it is for the students to make a choice as to what they would like to study. But it came little late, and already, Kannada is compulsory paper for first years. But few of the colleges were very much proactive, and they offered other courses, other languages. And student can make a choice of any language, and at the end of 2 semesters, a student can choose. Suppose, for example, a student had chosen English and Hindi as his paper. When the student goes to 3rd semester, a student can choose, instead of Hindi, a student can choose Sanskrit also, or a student can study Urdu as well. There is no restriction at all. That is the beauty that, that is there, that flexibility that is offered as far as NEP is concerned. Then Ganesha's question, whether credit transfer possible on the same year, different. Absolutely no problem. I think I've answered that question, sir, already. Whether within the same university, two different colleges, or whether you are changing the university, it does not matter at all. Credit transfer will come into being when you are changing the university. When you are changing the university, remember. Okay, I can now just share the screen. Okay, just two slides, and important slides pertain to the teacher capability enhancement, because they ultimately everything boils down to this particular aspect. I have identified, to enhance the capability of the teacher and to make a teacher really capable in what I should say, implementing the ideas that we have under NEP, you can just stick to these two slides that I want to share. Okay. Now I believe the screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
All right. So I will just go ahead. This is where we had stopped. Yes. Teacher testing standards, few points I've already mentioned. A 4-year integrated B.Ed program is what NEP is planning, and already Ministry of Education has already notified that. Teacher eligibility test, TET, the National Proficiency Testing Standards, NPTS, to be set up by 2022, that is this year by NCERT. This is also a work in progress. Promotion of teachers purely based on merit, not on based of seniority. This is what we have to look at. Then very, very important. This was more so in practice in case of professional courses like CA. In medicine, as far as CA, ICAI makes it compulsory that all practicing chartered accountants should undergo 30 hours of CPE, continuing professional education. Even medicine, in medical field, doctors have to compulsorily undergo, some 30 hours of study, CP, continuing professional education. And in teaching, it is made 50 hours of continuous professional development in a year. This is apart from your teaching. This is not related to your, what I should say, your induction program. It is not related to your, refresher course. This is totally separate. 50 hours of continuous, say, a good webinar on a certain topic on a particular day for 2 hours or 1 hour. That's how you complete your, 50 hours. What's the latest in my field? You don't wait for 3 years to get into do another refresher. Let me tell you, I myself have completed around 8 short-term courses so far in a limited time of around 7 months. You need to update. You need to grab everything that you get from different sites. This is very, very important. So NEP focuses on this aspect, 50 hours of continuous professional development in a year. And last critical side for all the teachers, teacher training tips. The future is really happening when you start feeling scared. Very critical point. So you need to give a round of applause to the past or the lessons that you have learned, and you need to welcome the future and say, I am ready. Teacher who is excellent in Excel and PowerPoint, 1. More so technology. Blended teaching and learning methodology. I was listening to Senthil Kumar sir in the morning. Use of online assessment and testing methods. I use Testmo, Zoom, and this Google Meet and all these things. For me, it's like offline class in an online mode. You need to bring in instant assessment for students. So this is another area that we need to look at. If you are a commerce and a management teacher, you should be an investor and you should speak from your experience. Remember, certificate course in swimming through distance mode. I know so many wonderful financial management teachers with zero money in the stock market. When you are in the stock market, you can speak your experience. And that is what we are looking at, a teacher who not only preaches, but practices as well. So hands-on stock market and investment analysis training is very, very important. If you are taking up papers like stock market, if you are talking about personal investment planning, personal financial planning, you need to be practical in your thought process. Next very important thing is you need to have an in-depth entrepreneurship ideation. How entrepreneurship works. This is very, very important. You cannot just be theoretical. You need to be practical. If you see another, where I have joined to through modes. Obviously, one, where I'm visible to you. I have another account I've joined is Lewis Publication. So I have a little entrepreneurship idea also. What takes me through entrepreneurship? So though I'm a teacher for the last 23 years, entrepreneurship is something that challenges you, gets the best out of you, makes you think day in and day out. So in-depth entrepreneurship ideation is a must for every teacher. Remember this. And as I said, experiential learning, case-based learning, these are all areas. So if you can, excel yourself in these areas, obviously stock market would look more like from a commerce or a management teacher point of view, but there is no harm because I know of a statistics teacher who is an excellent investor. I know of a wonderful botany teacher who is a great investor. So you need to have practical working knowledge of all the areas and not just the area which you have your subject that you hold on to. It is much more. So if you're teaching sociology, you need to have wonderful idea about, say, income tax as well, because that's a part of our life. If you're teaching income tax, you need to have great knowledge about political science as well. A teacher who has, all-round idea in the class would be the teacher who would excel under NEP. So this is what I had to share. And I believe NEP has a far-sighted positive implications. But teacher training has to be done. Remember, the onus was on us. When Karnataka wanted to implement, everyone said in urgency things are happening. It is our association, who trained nearly all the commerce teachers. And we are very happy that other universities emulated us. They copied us. Who will be the resource person, what training has to be given, all these aspects. How to teach accounts, taxation in Excel, GST in Excel. And I mentioned about Zoho books. You can just try Zoho books at your personal level. You can do that. So teachers who are very well connected with the outside world will help the students a great deal. If you have a good connect with an employer, you can be an unofficial placement officer of your college. Remember this. Don't wait for the placement officer to place your students. Placement officer alone need not have tie-ups with companies. Even at an individual level, you can suggest a few students to that particular company as well. And such teachers are required. Moving further. Workload issue continues to haunt all the teachers. Let's hope for the best. This is the Karnataka experience, especially in commerce. Our workload has gone down marginally, but then we are finding ways to, help our teachers stay afloat with less of workload also. Some adjustments we are doing it. So it's always, we say there is always light at the end of the tunnel. So thank you for your patient hearing. So I am open to, if there are more questions to ask, feel free. I'll be more than happy to answer all your questions.
Sir, I have a question, sir.
Yes.
In regard of online and distance education,
Yeah.
Can universities come up with an idea of blended or high flexible learning where the theoretical part can be taught online, and for practical part we can call the student for laboratory, so that the entire delivery can be done in the form of blended mode?
Wonderful, sir. Sir, I would like to go, I am with you in your thought, what you said just now. But I would go to one more higher extent, and I can tell you that if I tell you Monday to Thursday, you will have your regular college classes, and Friday and Saturday, you will have online classes. This is very much possible. One mode of blended learning is what you said. Teach theoretical aspects in online mode and get students to college for practical mode. Perfectly agreed. I would also go to the extent as 4 days in college or 5 days in college, 1 or 2 days at home, your online mode. That is also coming very soon. So we need to be ready for that as well. It's not that what you have learned, how to use Google Meet, how to make presentation, how to use videos, animations that is not going to go. Blended learning is here to stay. So I perfectly agree with you, Abhishek sir. Beautiful question. Okay, any other question? I'll just check the chat box if there is any other question available. Okay, in my laptop I don't see. I'll just check in the phone. Yes. Yeah. So I believe I answered questions. If there is any other question, feel free. I'll be more than happy to answer anyone's question. Madam Indira, you can take over, madam, if there are any questions to ask.
Sir, even I have one question, sir.
Please go ahead, madam. Please go ahead.
Sir, if a student is doing degree in Sri Ramakrishna College of Arts and Science,
Okay.
but he wants to complete his final year in some other college,
Okay.
is it possible, sir?
Sri Ramakrishna Arts and Science College is an autonomous institution.
Yeah, it's an autonomous, sir.
Okay. And if he wants to pursue in another autonomous or a non-autonomous?
Both, sir. If it is an autonomous, means possible or non-autonomous?
It does not, absolutely no problem at all, madam. Whether autonomous or non-autonomous college, the college and the university will definitely keep a record of his credits or her credits. Agree, madam?
Yes, sir.
That credit will be transferred there. And I have to tell you just this, because from moving from autonomous to a non-autonomous college, I see in Mangalore, my experience is usually prior to NEP, a university affiliated student cannot come into autonomous in the middle of the academic years. But a autonomous student can go to a university affiliated institution. Problem was the syllabus was totally different. But I have to tell you that across Karnataka, the first year NEP syllabus that we have is same, whether it is autonomous college or a non-autonomous college. Some courses here and there may change, but the basic structure of NEP, that 3 discipline core courses and the skill oriented, the value based, those are not going to change. Contents within that course may change, and university were given a flexibility to change 20% of the curriculum within a course, but they cannot change the nomenclature of that particular course. So that is very much possible under NEP, madam, because it's only about transferring credit from one college to another college, one autonomous college to another non-autonomous affiliated college of a certain university. No problem at all.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
So a question posted by Dr. Jailakshmi.
Okay. So
Sir, now a student can do 2 degree course together. Does this rule apply to PhD also?
Dr. Jailakshmi, do you think you'll be able to do 2 PhDs at a time? See, doing 2 courses is not a problem at all. Doing 2 PhDs is a problem because you'll have 2 guides. Correct?
Sir, good afternoon.
Which is a big challenge. Here, first of all, many of the students or rather teachers who want to do PhD, they are not getting guides for their PhD, especially in Karnataka. So 2 PhDs, 1 person, 1 candidate doing 2 PhDs is the rare thought, but it's a good thought. But presently, I would say it's not coming. My personal thought. You wanted to say something, Dr. Jailakshmi. Go ahead.
Yeah. Sir, good afternoon, but need not be from the same college, right? If I can do it from one college in Bangalore and another college from Hyderabad or some other colleges, the question is whether I'll be permitted, because if student can do 2 degrees together, why not? If I can stretch myself for 5 years, I can do 2 PhD comfortably.
I'll tell you one thing. This idea of students pursuing 2 degrees, initially even I could not digest, but it works out very well in cities. In the sense, morning classes. Now, for example, I'll take an example. Say, Dr. Jailakshmi, X is your student. Madam, which subject do you teach?
Sir, I teach law, sir.
Okay, you teach law. So let's forget what the UGC has said. Suppose if the student is doing 2 degrees, say student is pursuing law and the student is pursuing, let's say, something in chemistry. Let's assume he's a science student who had taken up law and he is pursuing his chemistry also. College timings are same. Do you think if a student doesn't come to your class regularly and if there is a shortage of attendance, would you allow the student to write the examination?
Sir, if I may suggest,
you would say that your subject is important.
Sir, there are some students. Yeah. I'm sorry to intervene. There are some students who do LLB together. They do LLB. What they do is, like first semester, they take up, but they don't attend classes. They skip the classes.
Okay.
So they'll not get the first semester all ticket. So second semester, they write the first semester.
Okay.
Third semester, they write the second semester. So when they're completing third year, actually, when they're supposed to complete third year, they don't complete at that time. Actually, the next 6 months, they complete the third year.
Okay.
If they can start it so well, they don't need teachers. I've seen some brilliant students.
Yeah, I
They
agree.
don't need teachers at all. They're better than the student without a teacher.
Definitely.
And they will not get a rank certificate because they are absent for the examination, but they do pass with flying colors. They do get first class, which is very tough in getting in law.
Okay.
So that is the reason I asked. There might be extraordinarily brilliant students.
Yeah.
See, for example, I don't mind doing 2 PhDs together. I know it's a big headache, but still, if I'm given an opportunity, why not? I don't mind stretching myself and doing it. Maybe some similar subjects together, or if my interest allows me to do it, if I can do it, I'll do it. Because there are some students in foreign countries where I've seen that they do extraordinarily well. I'm not talking about an average student.
Correct.
What I'm asking is, if an extraordinary student can do it, why stop them?
Okay. No. As far as courses are concerned, if you have read the fine print of that particular UGC document, 2 courses, when they say 2 courses, as I said, 2 PGs, 2 UG programs, 2 diploma programs. It cannot be 1 diploma and if it is a lower case, if you are doing your post graduation and if you want to do a course in undergraduation, there is welcome, but not from the lower and the higher. If you are doing your UG, you cannot take up another PG program. That is what is the rule saying. As far as PhD is concerned, there is no mention, because specifically it is focused only on for students, for the benefit of students, because of the what I should say bureaucratic setup, a watertight compartment, many of the students miss out on learning something. Others, their area of interest. So that's why I said initially it would work in cities, but it would not work everywhere, because in Karnataka the college timing is from 9 o'clock till 4 o'clock. Some colleges it is 9 to 4:30 also. When that is the case, there is no question of doing a second program. So what they can do is, they can do a regular program and they can do an online program maybe after 5 o'clock. Presently, PhD has not been included. With all your inputs and quality thoughts of Dr. Jayalakshmi and many others, definitely I think 2 PhDs are also coming on the way. So presently, there is no mention of that. So that's what I can tell you. Nothing more than that. But your thought is welcome. Nice.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yes.
Good day, sir.
Sir, I have one more question, sir.
Go ahead, madam.
If a student is an advanced learner, he could able to complete all the courses before a semester.
Okay.
He can go for a job. Whether it is possible, sir?
No. Semester is of 16 weeks. So even if the student, is a fast learner, he completes his, 3 units or 3 modules in average students 1 module time, but examination has to be written together. Now, examination cannot be given in advance. So timing of a semester is 16 weeks. There is no change. Whether you are a slow learner or whether you are an advanced learner, it does not matter. But as I said, benefit of that is he can do 2 courses. But finishing of that examination, writing of semester examination, everything is on time. No change in that. I hope you understood my point, madam, Indra madam.
Yes, sir.
Yes, can I have a final question? Then I can hand it over to the organizer.
Sir, I have one question.
Yes, Madam Novina, go ahead.
Sir, if a student is NRI, any institution, it will normally ask for an equivalent certificate from his place of education.
Correct.
So how far this will be possible in the implementation of NEP? So does the NEP have any rules or norms for the NRI students, sir?
Oh, you mean to say NRI student
from other countries, sir?
Yeah. No. Their admission procedure is normal. It's regular one. So there is no change in that.
Okay, sir.
So are you talking about the second program that the NRI student want to, or the normal only one?
No, sir, the second program.
I think
they come for the higher studies here, maybe for the PG programs.
See, when UGC is bringing in the thought of a dual program, opportunity to do dual program for a student, whether a student is an Indian student or NRI student studying in any Indian university, the rule is same for everyone. There cannot be different yardstick just because a student is NRI. he has registered for first course, say under an Indian university, and is pursuing his UG program, and if he feels that he's capable to do another UG program which doesn't affect his class hours, his face-to-face learning or blended learning, whatever is used in the first UG program, he's free to do a second one as well. Absolutely no problem. Procedure for NRI, everything is same. No change under NAP.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, Madam Navina. Okay, I think there are no other questions. If you want, you can, I will just leave my number in the chat box. Anyone wants to connect with me, you can feel free, and I'll be more than happy to connect with all of you all. Okay, that's my number in the chat box. My voice is a little down because yesterday I was on the ground IPL match and I lost a part of my voice, but somehow I managed. Thank you.
No, sir, you're normal. We could able to follow you. Really, we had a great time with this session, sir. We have learned. So ABCD alone is not an initial teaching for our students, and more than that, we should think more than that. And we have learned curriculum and pedagogy in schools, and multilingualism is very important. I do agree, sir. And we have learned what are the 6 objectives. The 6 objectives which mainly focuses on employability. And one more thing is 3 + 1 years. If a student couldn't able to continue their course, means he or she may get at least the certificate at the end of first year. Right. That will be very useful for them to survive in the society. They can get a job, or they can, if they want to continue, means after 2 or 3 years, they can directly join in a second year. They don't want to waste again 1 year. That's a nice thing, sir. Really, we had a great time. We have learned a lot of things, sir. You have answered so many questions, and your session makes that education makes you a better person and teaches you various skills. Thank you, sir. Saying thank you is more than good manner. It is good spirituality. I would like to thank our resource person, Dr. Manoj Louis, who honored this function with his inspirational thoughts.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sir, I would like to thank our beloved Principal and Secretary, Dr. B.L. Shivakumar, IQAC coordinators, NAAC coordinators, Vice Principal, Dean, Head of the Department, teaching and non-teaching faculty members, and participants. Because of you, we are very much privileged. Thank you for your contribution, your participation, your questions towards this session. Thank you. Thank you all for making this event a resounding success. Thank you.
Thank you, Sri Ramakrishna College, for the wonderful opportunity. Thank you, madam, and bye to all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Dear participants, the feedback link of all the 4 sessions will be shared in the WhatsApp group as well as in the chat box. So the link for the certificate will be shared through your registered mail ID and also in the WhatsApp group later. So there is a separate certificate link which you have to fill and post. So we will be providing the certificate accordingly. So thank you all for your kind cooperation throughout all the sessions of our national seminar. Without all your support, this event wouldn't have been made possible. So strongly, I believe that you all have definitely grasped the skills required for enhancing our profession. Thank you one and all for your support and encouragement rendered. Thank you. Dear participants, there is a separate link for your certificate. It will be shared later in your registered mail ID as well as in the WhatsApp group. So kindly wait. We will be sharing the certificate link at the earliest. Now the participants are asked to fill up the feedback link for the 4th session. The feedback link for all the 4 sessions has been shared in the WhatsApp chat, Google Meet chat box. We will also be sharing all the 4 links in the WhatsApp group also.